How someone treats you is a reflection of their capacity. It's not a reflection of your worth. And in fact, that's one of the greatest breakthroughs that we could ever have, is realizing that. It's realizing that if someone mistreats you or is unkind to you, that it's never about you. It's really about them and their state. I mean, think about it. Haven't you ever just been in a bad mood? Haven't you ever just woken up and been sad, not really feel good about yourself, felt a little irritable? Haven't you ever been so hungry that you get irritable from being hungry? You see, how we treat others is a reflection of how we're raised. It's a reflection of our values, for sure, but it's also a reflection of our emotional state. So again, if someone is not being that nice to you, it is their emotional state. It could be their values, and it also can be like how they were raised. At the end of the day, though, it's not about you. And like the tragedy is that, especially in relationships, if we're not treated well, we think, well, I must not be lovable. I must not be good enough. And look, this is a really corrosive story that happens. It's like someone's not unkind to you, and then we're kind of left to pick up the broken pieces of our self-esteem. And that's like a really real thing. Part of actually recouping your self-esteem is understanding that it's about them, not you. Listen, I had one of like the worst things happen to me many, many years ago. My ex-husband, but at the time he was my husband, decided to break up with me over a text on the same day that I was having a miscarriage and my mom was dying of cancer. That's how our relationship ended. Yeah, did we have a conversation afterwards? Yeah, but did he ever come home again? No. That's how it ended. And the devastation that I felt and the story, like, how unworthy I must be, and, how horrible he is. And then, how horrible I must be that someone could do this for me, that someone could do this to me. And then healing happened when I recognized, when I started to really make sense of it all, that he was in complete survival mode. That is not to excuse his behavior, ever. Of course not. But it's if I could understand that he was in survival mode, that had to do with the way that he was raised. That had to do with him being completely divorced from his value system. That had to do with his emotional state and actually had nothing to do with me. Look, we divorced. Does that have something to do with me? Of course, because it's a dynamic. But the way that was handled was not about me. And that was the breakthrough. It is the person's capacity or lack of capacity. It's never about your worth. And when you can really understand that, not only do you stop giving the other person so much power over your feelings and over your life and over your emotional state, but you also then learn how to let go. You don't hold on to the story anymore because you're not caught in this ping pong, this like painful emotional ping pong of blaming them and blaming yourself and feeling awful. Of course, you're going to have to process the pain of anything that happens. And, especially if it's something traumatic, you do have to process it. But freedom comes when you understand that it's not about you, it's their capacity. And that is also why this saying of like, if they wanted to, they would. Yeah, I think there's in certain scenarios that it does apply. Like if you're dating someone, like if they really were into you, they'll make time for you. If they really like you, they're going to call you. Like if you're dating someone and they're really invested in you and they really like you, they're not going to be too busy all the time. No one is too busy for anything that they really want and that they really cherish and that what they really value. But if we just take this a little bit deeper and understand the deeper meaning behind if they wanted to, then they would. And we take it away from just like a dating scenario. Lots of people are not doing the thing that they should be doing or the thing that they want to do because of their emotional state, their stress, their capacity or lack thereof, their upbringing. So make it less about you and understand that it's more about them. And then you can start to let go. And it's not even about forgiveness. It's literally getting to a place where you don't even have to forgive them anymore. You don't even have to forgive yourself. You can just see it for what it actually was. And then you are free.